Time now for your forewarned weather with Chief Meteorologist Alana Brophy.
And another example of the critical fire conditions we're seeing all across the state, really.
Peak wildfire season right now, Alana.
Yeah, Grand County not even underneath the red flag warning, and we know winds will pick up for them as we see the wind direction change. We're taking that live view from I-70, smoke-filled skies. Also, watch this camera on I-70 near Salina. It bounces around nonstop. Very gusty conditions in that region as we have thunderstorms that have popped up with lightning and very strong winds. We're going to be experiencing that along the Wasatch Front because we just saw that special weather statement for the Wasatch Front as we watch these storms kind of continue to push our way. Dry thunderstorms with gusts upwards of 55 miles per hour for Salt Lake County, Weber County, Tooele County. So you know it's very windy out there, and those are those outflows coming from these dry thunderstorms that we're seeing in northern Utah. We have that elevated threat, that slight risk calling for scattered severe storms, and that line of storms keeping things active. You can kind of see that line on the radar here, and we see several locations including northwestern Utah. This is what's coming through the Great Salt Lake. It started towards the Rush Valley, moving into Tooele County, and then in south central Utah, a few storms popping up there near Huntington, Carbon County. That area also saw wind gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour. And as we take that step back, you see southern Utah mainly over the mountains. As we look at our Black Desert time lapse, you see smoke-filled skies. We actually have noticed that further north today with the help of those winds carrying the smoke. Washington County underneath the red flag warning. So is the West Desert. Look at this. We've got a big area here with critical fire danger. Forewarned you about this yesterday. Now we're seeing gusts between 30 and 50 miles per hour, and so we have to watch these storms closely. Any fire start would spread quickly in this region. Now, eastern Utah and Grand County not underneath that red flag warning with the newest fire start, but it doesn't mean there's no wind. It's still breezy, just not to the critical level, which is what we're seeing in the areas in pink. Temperatures at 97, 93 in Logan, 104 in Green River and St. George, 90s along the I-15 corridor. Over the next several hours, we'll hold on to the 90s and then eventually ease into the 80s, but we've got cloud cover. You noticed it this morning. That's just an indicator that moisture is present, but because we're so dry at the surface, we're getting a lot of virga, so it's evaporating that precipitation before it hits the ground. By ABC4 News at 10:82. Time-lapse video coming out of Farnsworth Peak. I want you to note the smoke because it moved up into the Wasatch Front area. This was from this morning, and as we look at current air quality, we've got elevated particulate matter in several locations today. That includes Box Elder County, Cache County. Now we're also pairing this with ozone because we're into the heat of the day, but I'm going to note where we're seeing elevated PMs. That's Tooele County, Wasatch County, so the Wasatch back, Utah County with particulate matter, Uinta, and then Grand, Iron, and Washington County. The southern half of the state actually has those wildfires burning, so it's not a huge surprise that they're seeing that elevated potential when it comes to our air quality. It's a decline in air quality. If you have respiratory issues, you feel it. So it's throughout the state today with the help of those southwesterly winds. Our futurecast smoke model shows that as we head into tonight, a lot of that will focus in south central Utah and on the eastern side of the Beehive State from Uinta County to the Four Corners, but we still have smoke hanging around as we head into the midweek. Hazy skies expected along the Wasatch Front, smoke-filled skies in the southern half of the Beehive State. That's high-resolution data there. As we look at the futurecast, I want to show you the storms on the move. Here we are by 9 p.m. along the Wasatch Front with those gusty, dry thunderstorms, lightning potential, and strong winds. We're going to stay active even into the overnight towards Hanksville and Moab. For tomorrow, southern Utah begins to blossom. We also see those storms in eastern Utah. What's happening in the West Desert could bring an isolated storm to the Wasatch Front as well. So Wednesday brings the potential for storms and flash flooding. It's possible in several locations. Here's a look at that upper level, which kind of shows you the positioning of the high. Temperatures for tomorrow, cooler following the cold front that's passing through. It's going to knock down the numbers a little bit, getting to average 102 in St. George. Checking on the next 7 days in southern Utah. A few 90s there as we get a monsoon push Thursday and Friday, bringing in the potential of storms before the triple digits come back, and the Wasatch Front cools ever so slightly to the mid-90s. What a cold snap, am I right? Isolated storms tomorrow, slight chance Friday and Saturday. Active skies out there, strong winds right now along the Wasatch Front.